Hey everyone, this is CR Media. This is another episode of Bad Booking. This is episode 6. We're doing something a little different this week. We're going live. Usually we record it and we replay it and let you download the podcast, all that good stuff. You might notice something a little different this week. I'm not by myself, and I don't have Seth with me. Seth is taking a little bit of time off. Seth did get a lot prettier, as you can tell. I got my friend Jordan here tonight. Um, Jordan is filling in tonight. You know, this may be something we do every once in a while. Jordan's doing a big, huge favor for me and helping out. Um, if you're not familiar with Jordan, I know Jordan is sharing this to his social media as well. But if you're not
Yep.
familiar with Jordan, Jordan does. Jordan is a jack of all trades. Just to promote Jordan real quick, he does photography, he does vlogging, he does video editing, he does a lot of stuff. His handle is right next to his name, as you can see. Check Jordan out. Jordan is building a big name around the Kansas City area where we are for doing what he does, and it definitely earns it. He's been working his ass off the past few years on this, so I'm excited to have him. Jordan is a wrestling fan just like myself. Jordan and I have met a few times at some wrestling events.
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
and damn it, dude, I wish I'd have thought of this before the stream. I would have got that picture of me and Pete Dunne and you
Yeah.
photobombing
And Pete Dunne.
at
first of all,
NXT.
first of all, I want to, say thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Say
No,
thank you
you're
so
good.
much
You're good.
for the plug time, plugging me in there for a second. It's been, an honor to kind of talk to you backstage a little bit, and I'm just so grateful to be on the show, man. Thank you. So
Absolutely, man. Good to have you. Like I said, man, you're my first live episode, so
I
we're
feel honored for that. Honestly, I really do. Thank you.
and to be completely honest with you, man, the live thing is not a big deal because how it is, I usually do this thing where I record it, like I said,
Mm,
and then
mm.
I go to edit it. Well, editing is kind of non-existent because I can't download the video and edit it and upload it back to Restream because it's too long.
Right.
Because
Yeah, for sure.
Seth and I's episodes are usually 2.5, 3 hours long. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
um,
Um, there's a lot of cutting and cropping and sinking and all that good stuff.
no, there's usually like one thing that'll happen. Like last time Seth and I did it, I thought I hit the mute button to yell at my kids, and I didn't. So
Yeah.
there's like this part where like Seth is talking, and then I dip out screen like this, and then I'm like, shut the damn door. And then like Seth went
I
quiet,
love it.
and
Hey,
like I
it's
said,
the
I
imperfections like that that make
yeah,
that make all this podcast just it makes it come to life, man. That's awesome.
yeah.
He
So
said,
it
"Shut the
it was
damn
fun.
door."
It was funny,
Uh,
man. Like I told people I was like, hey, no video this week. Well, there was no video that
yeah.
week because like I said, the video was just too large to re-upload. So might as and that's when I told myself I was like, well, we might as well go live if I can't edit out mistakes. If
Hey,
you're
and by the way though, first live, many to come. This might be a good opportunity for you to really connect with the audience a little bit. Get these
oh
people in
yeah,
here and kind of let them tune in and kind of just enjoy the live. No pun intended,
no,
live feed.
absolutely. If if you are joining this show and you have seen you know James House Chiefs talk, James does this thing where like we like to get the community's comments involved. So
Mhm.
that's real big, and that's what I think we're going to start doing with these on these lives. But real quick, just just to kind of jump in, if you haven't already, please like the page you're viewing on, whether you're viewing it on my YouTube, my Facebook, my Twitch, or my Twitter, or Jordan's Facebook. Like the page, share it
Yeah,
because
guys, if you guys are my friend, come here, drop a like. I know we probably got what 5, 6 viewers in here. I would say starting up. Drop a like to him. He's a awesome dude. Kind of plug you a little bit. He's a sports phenomenon, knows pretty much anything to do with any kind of sport. Been in the game for quite a while, and it's been, off camera. We were talking a little bit about. I was like, man, Chase, you should have done these podcasts a long time ago. I know they didn't have the stuff like this you see now. Probably 10, 15 years ago, but it's just it's awesome. I've been a big fan of watching you guys' series and podcasts to come, and or excuse me, old podcasts. So it's been awesome, man. I'm excited to see you guys grow, and it's been an awesome, like, watching you guys from day one to now. It's crazy how everything's changed. So congratulations to you. Everybody drop a like right now. Drop a like.
I'll tell you what, man, it has been a fun ass journey.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give you and your peeps like a bit some background. Man, when I was a kid, man, I wanted to do this wrestling shit so bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had kids really young. I started having kids when I was 16. So, it kind of life came. And these past 5, because I've only been doing this for 5 months. So these past 5 months, I've kind of taken some time to reflect and be like, okay, this is going to be my journey into the wrestling and mixed martial arts world, and I'm excited about it. Maybe I'm going through a midlife crisis, man. I don't know.
Hey, I'm right there with you, brother. Sorry, I was just looking at the chat. What's up, Chance? So let me see who all's in here, man. We're starting to get some people in here, bro. We got what? We're creeping up on 10 now, I think. So let's see it. What's up, Chance? Welcome to the show, brother. What's up, Julia? What's up, Delaney? What's up, Morgan? What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to the show. Hope you guys enjoy this. We're gonna be talking about some crazy stuff tonight.
So just kind of recap last week's show. Like I said, I was riding solo last week. The big thing was Tony Khan's major announcement. He teased the major announcement and talked about how he was under a non-disclosure agreement with attorneys, so he couldn't release it until it was actually official. And then Wednesday, we found out about that. We'll talk about that a little later. But, like I said, I was riding solo last week, so that was kind of like the main focus of the show. Kind of just jumping into it, man. We'll talk about UFC 272. UFC 272 is actually happening right now as we speak.
Yes.
Yeah. I've actually got Impact's pay-per-view going on right now. I didn't order UFC tonight, but I will catch the replay of it. Really, man, the big fight that I'm majorly interested in is the main event, Kobe Covington and Jorge Masvidal. Dude, I don't know if you saw this week, like the press and the weigh-in and stuff. That shit got personal.
It did, man. And one thing I really want to say, though, is it's with watching this, as a UFC fan, it really touched your heart, just because it's kind of like anything. It's like a normal thing that happens in life. You're best friends with somebody. You've slept on their couch. You've done everything, eat, sleep, shit, with them and stuff like that. But I think it's that much more surreal, because it's like it's something that happens every day. Best friends turn into enemies. You see it happen all the time. And I think, tonight's going to be a big factor with that. I think just watching these two guys with real raw emotion going into this fight, knowing that it's not just to sell pay-per-views, or just because sometimes they sell those pay-per-views, they say the stupidest stuff, which brings them money. You can't complain. I'd do the same thing. But I think with this, it's there's some real bad blood, man, and I think it's going to be real exciting to see and watch these two guys just beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, no, and I've talked on this show, about my stance on, this stuff. There's a lot of mixed martial arts purists, so to say, that are like, oh, save the dramatics, save the theatrics for WWE. I don't want that, but it makes it so exciting, because like you like, that's how you look at it. Like, you look at this situation, when when it was Connor and Khabib and all that
Yes,
stuff
which
going on.
that was very personal, very
Very yeah,
personal.
he attacked his nationality, he attacked his
Yeah,
religion, so I mean like
and threw a chair through their bus.
yeah, like
It's like,
you're invested. Like,
yeah,
I mean, like if you remember
yeah,
those, if you like, I just saw the replays of those press conferences, and Connor was like in his face, talking shit
yeah,
about his nationality,
yeah,
talking shit about his religion. Like, so then it
yeah.
was like, dude, he's gonna kill this motherfucker.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
and it's the same thing here. Like, you can tell during the weigh-in that Kobe hit a nerve with Jorge. Because
yeah,
I don't know if you heard the comment, but the comment that Kobe made is like, he's like, yo, like, he says I slept on his couch, like, let's get our pronouns right. I slept on her
yeah,
couch. I slept on your
yeah.
wife's
I seen that.
I slept on your wife's couch. And I was like,
Yeah,
damn, dude, like, you shouldn't have said
yeah.
that.
And
But
see, that's kind of one of those things that really like that I agree with that too, as far as like, come on, man. Because it's one of those things. It's like, as much as you hate somebody, don't bring, like Jorge said, like, don't bring my wife into this, or don't say
yeah,
stupid stuff like that. That
yeah,
like, come on, man. But I mean, the one thing I will say about Covington, man, is he was gonna get cut, and he said all that stuff about the Brazilians. So I guess he's as long as he's bringing in money, I don't know. Dana White's probably liking it, so
yeah. Oh yeah.
business is good for him. So.
And that's
Sorry, I
what, like,
wanted to shout out everybody. Sorry, I want to shout out everybody real quick. What's up, Chris? What's up? Everybody's in here, kind of hopping through, hanging out a little bit. Sorry, I wanted to not to cut you off, brother. Just wanted to
no,
let them know.
I'll tell you what, I'm a little confused on. I thought maybe like the people that showed up in yours. Like, do you got people chatting on yours?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not showing up on our chat
I was
here.
wondering that, but oh
Yeah,
well, we'll have some fun with it. I'll just watch it,
yeah,
kind of here and there. So
yeah.
shout
No
people out
worries.
as we go. But go ahead, brother. What were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say that like Kobe, like, because it's crazy because Kobe hasn't won a lot of fights lately,
Yeah,
but Kobe's getting a lot of airtime because
yeah,
Kobe is, you know, he's bringing in the money. Like I said, he
yeah,
makes the with the shit
yeah,
talking and his personality.
yeah,
And the only thing I would say is, with how personal he gets with everybody, he tried to do it with Usman, Jorge, all that, with how
mm,
personal he gets, and he's still getting his shit rocked. Like, he's
yeah,
still getting beat.
yeah.
You would think he would try a different approach, man, but he's sticking with it, man. He wants to eat you alive. So
One thing I really want to say about kind of like this generation, though, is I feel like everybody does a lot of this, which I guess like it's something like Mike Tyson said in an interview or podcast or something like that. Um, is a lot of the people this generation in any kind of sport, you see them do a lot more talking than walking essentially. But I guess, like I said, this is the way that people get farther along in careers, or this is the way that they
I,
get the money. I don't know where everything like kind of transition, but I'm assuming that's where everything's coming now. Because
yeah,
apparently you don't have, like you said about Colby, it's like apparently you don't have to win quite a bit, but you could still make a shit ton of money. I just don't understand that. But I guess
well,
it's kind of like Jake Paul. Nobody likes Jake Paul, and I mean, everybody has their debate about him, but he's bringing in more money than most boxers ever will.
yeah.
So,
Well,
so
and we've talked about that on this show with about like Jake Paul and his stance on the UFC and how they pay
yeah,
fighters
yeah,
and fighter pay and all that
mm,
stuff. But
mm,
it was like I said, the old school people that are like, yo, just shut up and fight. Okay,
yeah,
I mean, like, that's cool. Like,
yeah,
I still love the sport, and that's fine.
yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man, the sport is way more fun. And that's so funny that a guy like Mike Tyson would say that, because Tyson was the type of guy that would do HBO
Yep.
interviews and be like, I'm gonna eat this man's babies,
Right. I'm like, hold up, what?
uh,
Like, hold up.
so
So,
I mean, like, the sport is just so much more fun to me when
yeah,
when they throw in when they're you can really feel that animosity towards the two
yeah,
guys. Those punches feel, I mean,
oh
like, you can
yeah,
feel the
yeah,
emotion from those punches on TV. So
yep, no,
I
100%.
who you got?
So As much as I want to say Jorge, I think for some weird reason I got this little this little gut feeling that Covington might come out on top. I don't know why, but I really want to go with Jorge. Love his style. Always been a big fan of him. I like Covington too. He's a bad dude as much as he's lost, a couple times and really isn't. I don't. That one of the best in the world. I mean, obviously he's one of the best in the world, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Not like a top guy, I guess, but he still some bad dudes, bro. So hopefully my boy Jorge can win tonight. If not, then I don't know because he might lose his
I,
belt. They're fighting for the belt tonight, right?
yeah. No,
Yep,
no, no,
that's
no,
what.
no belt, no belt, no belt,
Yeah.
no belt.
I just didn't know if they were
Because
fighting for the BMF belt that Jorge got.
no, I think Jorge kept that as like a novelty thing. I don't think Jorge is going to be. I don't see Jorge defending that. Maybe he
Yeah.
has. Um, but I'm going to side with you on this. I feel like after watching that weigh in,
Uh-huh.
I I feel like Kobe this time succeeded in his goal to get inside Jorge's head.
Yeah.
And I,
And,
I
and did you
and I think
notice
it'll cost
that Jorge was like super quiet, like throughout the whole press conference and the whole like this whole time he's been real quiet. Hasn't really said anything. Hasn't really. I feel like let it get to him. I feel like he's letting it get it to him a little bit, but he's just kind of keeping it all sane until he fights,
yeah,
which I guess is smart. But at the same time, bro, you can get in somebody's head, and you're getting in somebody's head when they just get quiet. Um,
yeah.
so
The next topic I wanted to bring up was Joe Rogan. It was announced. It was either announced today or yesterday. I can't remember which, but it came across my phone that after missing UFC 271 due to a scheduling conflict, supposedly, uh, Joe Rogan is returning to commentary tonight. I thought
yeah,
that was weird because, if you, like I said, if you go back, they announced it literally the day before 271 that Joe Rogan had a scheduling conflict. It's like you're the biggest like you're one of the biggest stars in the world.
yeah.
One of the most popular podcaster on Spotify,
Mhm.
and you had a
If
you
not
forgot.
the one, yeah. If not the
Yeah,
most,
I mean, yeah, like everybody keeps saying that like Spotify works for Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan doesn't work for Spotify.
right.
you know, and I
Shout out
wholeheartedly
Karen.
agree.
Shout out Karen.
But
Sorry.
I wholeheartedly agree, man. But it's just weird to me that like a big megastar like that would say, "Oh, like these UFC fights that I do every single month, all of a sudden there's a scheduling conflict." So
Yeah, and I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about the whole Joe Rogan thing, just because it could. I have a big way, what I feel. Kind of lost a lot of respect for The Rock, if you know what I mean. With that whole incident, but anyways, no. I mean, speaking of Joe Rogan, like I think it's gonna be awesome. Not having him the last pay per view, the last big pay per view was kind of weird. Was kind of like boring, bland, not real too exciting in my opinion. Um, just because like when you see and what was so crazy about it was an amazing pay per view, very amazing, like knockouts like left and right, huge, like probably one of the best cards that I've seen in a long, long time, and it just didn't have that Joe Rogan like oh my god, like whenever somebody
yeah,
gets knocked out, it just didn't have that. It was still exciting, but it's just like you said, and kind of about Spotify working for Joe Rogan. I think the UFC works for Joe Rogan too. So
yeah. I mean,
as much as I want to say that,
I think it's just kind of a well known thing that Joe Rogan does what the fuck Joe Rogan wants.
yeah, no,
Um,
100%.
and that's great for him because I mean that's the legacy he's built. He should be able
Yeah.
to do what the fuck he wants. Um,
And like I said, his podcasts are just so entertaining. The amount of people, I want to sidetrack just a hair. The amount of people he's got on there, man, it's crazy because it's always like a roller coaster. You never know what you're gonna get. And dude, it's just some of the stuff that they talk about is just like I find
yeah,
myself getting mesmerized. I'm like, man, how do they know? Like, what? So,
yeah.
but no, I think definitely think it's gonna be exciting to have him back tonight. I'm excited to get a hold of that and watch that. So,
I uh, I am too, man. Like I said, I'm gonna catch the replay. Um, There's so much going on today. It was crazy. So much going on this weekend. Um, I didn't get an opportunity to talk about last week. Like I said, I was kind of flying solo, but it's kind of worked out best this way because then I get to talk about it with you.
Yeah.
And that would be the Cain Velasquez story.
Yes.
Were you able to kind of read up on that?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, I was in Chicago for like 4 days, so bear with me a little bit, guys. Okay, I'm trying to get as much research as done as I possibly can. But this is one thing that I will say that hit my phone pretty much immediately. Um, I don't really know how much detail I can say on here, so I'm just gonna kind of not get canceled, I guess, on the show. But for the first time, but I will say with the Cain Velasquez thing, I think in my right mind, I would do the same thing. And for those of you guys that don't know what happened, go do your research on it. You'll understand why he's in the predicament that he is. But I think free my boy to let him out of jail now, like ASAP.
Yeah,
Um,
and,
you
well,
know,
and I'll tell you what, man, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem talking about it. I mean, the situation was a family member of his. It wasn't his. It wasn't his child, but it was a family member of his was allegedly claimed that they were molested by an individual at the daycare they were at, and um, Cain it it not real familiar, not up to don't memorize exactly off the top of my head the events that led up to it, but there was a car
yeah,
chase where this alleged person that did the horrific act was
yeah,
was driving. Cain was chasing him in a car, but
yep,
there was also two family members of his, the perpetrator in the car, and Cain was shooting at the car and shot somebody else besides him.
yep,
So,
yep, yeah.
and
God, it's sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I was going to say the prosecuting attorney said that it was straight up an act of vigilantism, and
Yeah,
that Cain shouldn't have taken the law into his own hands. Um, I'm not going to get into that, but what I will say is that I hope Cain can take some of that WWE and UFC money and pay for a good lawyer
and
to,
fight that case.
yeah,
No,
take care of
and that's one thing I want to say too is like I said, I don't want to dive deep, too deep into this. Like I said, if you guys are watching this, do your research on the Cain Velasquez situation. It's pretty fucked up. But for the most part, I just want to say, free my boy. I would do the same exact thing. Regardless, I get it. Taking the law in your own hands, whatever. But at the same time, man, you like when you're going through that, it's I don't know. I feel for him. Free my boy is all I got to say. So
yeah.
that's all I'm going to say about that
Uh,
whole situation.
and with that, we're gonna wrap up the MMA portion of the show.
Yeah.
Kind of kept it short this week, which was good.
Sorry, I want
Um,
to plug a couple people real quick. Madison's
yeah,
on
go ahead.
here. What's up, boo? What's up, boo? Karen, she said, "Go, buddy." Chance said, "What's up, buddy?" What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Drop a like
So
right now as we speak. For me, drop a like.
a like and a share, absolutely.
We like keep on climbing. Like we climb. I don't know if it's like lagging or something, but it climbs. We get like over 10 or something, and then drops, and then gets up, and then drops, and then gets up, drops. It's weird. I don't know. Oh
Yeah, I
well.
think I think what a lot of that has to do with is like when people see it, they'll click on it and be like, "Oh, it's
Yeah.
alive," and then keep
Yeah.
scrolling or
Just scroll.
whatever. But so the big news that I was talking about at the beginning of the show that I was kind of touching base on last week, it was as everybody predicted. Everybody was speculating that Tony Khan had purchased ROH, and that's what he
Yep.
announced on Wednesday. I thought the announcement was really cool. How the internet wrestling community can be.
Yeah.
Um, you know, you're either super diehard for WWE or you're super diehard for AEW. It's very rare,
Yep.
and it's really hard to find people that
That are
just
both.
shut the fuck up and just enjoy both.
Yeah.
Like if that's what you want to do. Like
Yeah.
I enjoy WWE because I love professional wrestling and
Yeah.
I love the wrestlers. I'm not a huge fan of WWE as a company.
Yeah.
Whatever. At the end of the day, Tony Khan is a wrestling fan. So he was super excited to make that announcement, as he should be.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so the details about it, it kind of came out a little bit afterwards. Um, Tony Khan supposedly Tony Khan and his legal team waited until after after the last day of all the aid or ROH contracts.
Mm.
So if you were contracted by ROH, your last day was Tuesday, March 1st.
Yeah.
So he waited till March 2nd to finalize the purchase. Of course, that makes sense because, you know, if he wants to re-sign those guys to contracts to ROH, if he elects to continue ROH,
Mm.
he may only be keeping ROH for the video library. I don't know,
Yeah.
but if he elects to continue ROH, he would want to sign those guys to their own contracts because if you remember, um, or if you've read up on it, I'm a little bit older than you, Jordan. So I mean, I
Okay.
yeah, but when Vince bought
You look like $1 million
WCW,
though, buddy. You look good.
I appreciate that. Um, when Vince purchased WCW back in 2001, there
Mm.
was a humongous issue with wrestlers who currently had contracts with WCW when he made that purchase. The
Yep.
reason why was because some of those wrestlers had in their contracts that they could do whatever they want with their character. Some of those wrestlers had in their contracts, that they didn't have to work, that it was guaranteed money, so they could
Yeah.
sit on their ass and not do anything and get paid. Hence, why you didn't see wrestlers like Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and Goldberg during the Invasion angle in 2001
Yeah.
because they didn't have to work. They elected to sit on their ass until their contract was up. Some of them made the move over to WWE, some of them didn't.
Yeah.
Sting, Jeff Jarrett, those guys. They elected to not go to WWE. Whereas we saw Goldberg continue to go to WWE, he waited till his contract was up and then signed a fat contract with WWE. We
Yeah.
all can agree that the invasion angle in 2001, WCW versus WWE, would have been a fantastic story had you had those big time WCW players.
Yep. I agree. Yep.
Um, but it didn't happen. So you could say that may be a reason why Tony did it, or maybe it was just, you know, when a company sells, they want to liquidate their assets. And to me, if you look at what Tony did, what Tony and ROH did, ROH paid these guys, they had their contracts, they let their contracts run out.
Mm.
Whereas they could have Sinclair Group, who owned ROH, when they announced that they weren't doing another show and that they were going to take a hiatus, they could
Mm.
have released those people from their contracts. They could have terminated them. We've seen in WWE in the past year and a half, WWE has released over 100 people, talent,
Yes. And a
not
lot
just
of huge names.
yeah.
Huge names.
We're not talking just backstage people. We're not talking about like people in catering and stuff like that. We're not talking about ring preparer guys. We're talking about
We're talking
talent.
Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee,
Yeah,
all
you
these
know,
big name guys.
exactly. Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman. I
Adam
mean,
Cole.
and let's not forget
Crazy.
they did it at the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So the speculation behind that was when when uh when you sell, they call it a fire sale. When you're about to
Mm.
sell, you have a fire sale of your assets, and then it increases your revenue, so
Yeah.
you look more profitable.
Yep.
So, and that was the idea. Now there was a lot of talk that WWE was in talks to sell before the pandemic hit, and then when the pandemic hit, I think they said ESPN and NBC were bidding for WWE before the pandemic
Yeah.
hit, and then they
Yeah.
backed out. And so then WWE brought in Nick Khan, who's a financial guy. and Nick Khan has made a lot of these decisions based on, and to me, if you want my personal opinion, I I 1,000% believe that WWE will be owned by somebody else in less than 3 years. That's
Oh,
what I believe.
100%. If not Disney, I think Disney's gonna own
Yeah,
them. Like
dude,
as dumb as that sounds.
I think it would be NBC. It makes the most sense because NBC has, NBC owns Peacock, and
Yeah,
Peacock has the network here in the United
yeah,
States. Um, so like I said, whether it's Disney, whether it's NBC, I see WWE being owned by somebody else in the next 3 years. Somebody said
yeah, for
five
sure.
years. I say sooner than that. I think
Yeah,
as soon as the world as soon as the world and society kind of gets back to normal and companies are companies are comfortable spending billions of dollars to purchase companies again,
yeah,
I could see that sale happening. Absolutely. But Tony, like I said, the internet wrestling community, like the anti AEW guys, were extremely critical of Tony, because they're like, well, what's Tony going to do with it? Whatever. Listen, these
right.
guys were out of contracts. These guys were out of contracts. So whether Tony purchased ROH or not, I mean, these guys were still
Yeah, these guys
terminated
still
from
got to go.
contracts. Yeah. So,
Right.
I mean, I thought it was really cool at the beginning of AEW. He said, he kind of made a joke. He's like, Shane's not here, kind of
Yeah,
referencing when and
dude, which
and
that would
Tony.
have been massive, massive, bro. I'm talking that would have changed the game.
Well, there's a lot of speculation because a lot of people still don't believe that Cody. A lot of people still can't believe that Cody's gone from AEW.
I
To
think it's a
oh
strategic move, though. I'm not gonna lie.
well, it, there's a lot of talk that was there's a lot of talk within internal you know like Sean. I subscribe to Fightful Select for Sean Ross Sapp. It's $5 a month. If you're a wrestling fan and you like to know the ins and outs of things, it's definitely worth it. It's more than worth it for $5. But Sean Ross Sapp, and a lot of those guys, Dave Meltzer and stuff, have been like, yo, like we've talked to people, and even people who aren't full time AEW guys will say like, hey, like Cody's gone, like that's what it
Yeah,
was, and Cody was checked out months ago. It wasn't
yeah,
just it wasn't just like, hey, like this is an issue. It was Cody was checked out. It took me by surprise, man, because I thought, well, Tony Khan has always said I like to do my re-signings in person, and I knew Cody was super busy, just had a baby, was doing reality shows. So I
yeah,
thought maybe Tony Khan and Cody hadn't had an opportunity to kind of sit down and go over it to do it. And then when they were like, "Yo, like we've been negotiating his contract with our attorneys," and the attorneys sat down and said, "Hey, like both attorneys were like, hey, it's best that we just, our advice is that you guys sever this relationship
yeah.
because which is odd for attorneys because you think, an attorney wants it to go on as long as it can because
Right.
they want to get paid.
They want to get that dinero.
Yeah. But so he announced it. He made the comment about Shane, and then he mentioned um, the very first match that started off ROH was Brian Danielson and Christopher Daniels. And then they
Yeah,
started off the show with Christopher Daniels versus Daniel Bryan. And that match was fantastic.
yeah,
So, like I said, there's not a whole lot going on right now as far as what Tony plans on doing with ROH. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'd love for Tony to, maybe take ROH and put it on YouTube and let
yeah.
it be, let those independent guys work that. It'll also help with AEW's humongous roster. Um,
Yes,
so
bro.
they can help
Listen,
spread that out.
I just wanted to plug this for like 30 seconds. Listen, I love AEW, but my biggest fear, and I've said this since day one, is
Yeah.
that they're signing so many guys, they're not gonna be able to do anything with it. It's gonna be like WWE all over again.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and
with that, with AEW and AEW, it gives me that old feel of wrestling again. It's not
yeah.
just, you know, let's do this because of the kids and this. It's like it gives me that old wrestling feel. Like, listen, if I'm gonna go to a pay-per-view and I'm gonna fly all the way down to Orlando or wherever they do the showings at, I want to see somebody get put through a table, like,
Yeah.
or jump off a ladder or the top turnbuckle. But I want to also be told a story. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of those guys, and what I've also heard though too is with this kind of wrestling generation is they all they want to do is high spots, high spots, high spots. And I feel like AEW is a good way of still telling that story that we're missing, that we've
Yeah.
been missing since I feel like the Attitude Era. Could be wrong, but that's
Well,
just my take on it.
no, I wholeheartedly agree with you. And what to me, what makes AEW exciting is, Tony's a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Um, and we'll kind of jump into that next subject. Did you see Vince McMahon on the Pat McAfee show?
I did. I seen little bits and pieces. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't watch the whole
Uh,
thing because it's what like an hour and something long.
yeah,
But I did see some bits and pieces, and there's some pretty good stuff on there.
Dude,
So
it was a phenomenal interview. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Pat McAfee. He's an inspiration. You know,
yeah,
um, another guy like Joe Rogan who took his platform
yeah,
somewhere and said, hey, like I don't have to do what you say. I'm going to do what I
yeah,
say. You know,
yeah,
and he's making millions of dollars doing this. What you and I are doing.
yep, yep.
you
Which is
know,
insane. Absolutely insane. I want
yeah.
to say.
Um, retired early from football. Didn't play a whole long time, and is now doing something he loves. So it
Yeah,
was I love Pat McAfee's show. I try to listen to it as much as I can. My favorite one of my favorite episodes was Brock. Um,
yes. Oh my gosh.
and
Uh, Go ahead.
when
Go.
when Brock picked up the shit and threw it,
Yes, bro.
the,
I want to tell you
my
one thing. One thing real quick.
yeah.
Like I've always been a Brock Lesnar fan, and yes, we always talk shit about, oh my god, Brock Lesnar this, Brock Lesnar WWE, but that
Yep.
interview, that podcast made me love that dude that much more.
Dude.
Like,
Uh, and what's funny you say about that, like Seth would always give me shit, and Seth has brought up on previous episodes of Bad Booking about how like I used to shit on Lesnar, and I did, but it was how
yeah,
WWE booked Lesnar.
yeah,
It's okay. Stone Cold brought it up one time, and he mentioned like, hey, it's it makes the world title that much more prestigious. It makes it that much more
yeah,
special if somebody shows up and it shows up occasionally to do it.
yeah,
That's fine, but that's on WWE to continue that to continue that.
yeah,
If WWE, held the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship to higher standards and let those titles go, they could main event pay-per-views until we're ready to bring in the big superstar who is the world champion, Brock
yep,
Lesnar, whoever. So it was my main issue was not with Brock, it was always with WWE and how they used Brock.
yeah. How they
So
booked. Yep.
Brock,
It was
I've
almost
always
like they're saving grace all the time. Like, oh my god, our ratings are down. Let's bring Brock Lesnar on.
yeah, and that's true. Like it's crazy, man, because if you listen to guys like us and you listen to like the internet wrestling community,
Yeah.
we would shit on that, and there was a lot of
Hmm.
people who did shit on it, like the Royal
Yeah.
Rumble, Brock winning the Royal Rumble. However, if you ask Paul Heyman has said in several interviews, Vince calls Brock and pays Brock a lot of money, puts a lot of zeros on the check to pay Brock because when Brock comes in, the ratings go through the roof.
Yeah.
You know,
Phew.
and maybe, and you could argue and say, well, it's all kids. Well, he's not appealing to kids.
Right.
Brock's not a kid friendly character.
Right.
So you know Brock's Pat McAfee show was one of my favorites until I saw this one.
Oh,
And
one hands down is probably realistically top two to three. podcasts I've ever listened to. Because, and I want to say, not that they were telling so much information, but it was more of like you get to really see who the guy was that has always portrayed as this big bad dude that you don't mess with. The fact that some of the stuff that he was saying, bro, I was dying.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking about, oh, baby Lord Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
it's like, what
What?
the hell? What?
What?
What? What?
Yeah.
That
Uh,
shit was fucking hilarious.
and you know what, dude? It pulled a layer off of Brock that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
That part when Brock talked about his anxiety. He's like,
Yes.
I love going out there, but man, like my anxiety hits me because I can only be in front of that large of a crowd for so fucking long, and then I've got to go. I've got to decompress.
Decompress. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like, dude, it hit like that hits you, you know.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
it did. It that was the moment where I was like, okay, like Brock, like, okay, I feel for this guy now. Like,
yeah,
holy shit. Like, and that's what I'm like, that's what I'm saying about that podcast. It was like I feel like Brock is one of the boys now. Like, cause like I said, he's always portrayed as like this big guy that everybody fucking hated. He's such a douchebag, but like that interview was just solidified to me that he's actually one of the funniest guys I've seen. Like, what? What?
yeah, and
So
they did the exact same thing with Vince.
yeah,
I'm the exact same thing. Vince talked about humble beginnings. He grew up in a trailer. His father wasn't a good businessman, didn't have a lot of money, built the empire. He bought it from his father, took it over. Um, you
that's
know, he,
crazy.
there was there was a lot of humanizing things about Vince on there because much like Taker, much like Undertaker, Vince has never done like a candid thing where he's broke character. He's tried to
Yeah,
protect that Mr. McMahon character. The I'm better than you, I'm rich, you're puny, you're pathetic, blah blah blah.
yeah,
This was a very humanizing view of Vince McMahon to kind of show, you know, kind of show him like this is crazy. And he talked about like, yo, I probably have ADD, ADHD, bipolar. Like I probably have all those mental learning disabilities. And he's like, but back in my day, they didn't diagnose those. So I
yeah.
barely made it through school. I was constantly getting kicked out. I wasn't going to graduate college. He told this fucking hilarious, phenomenal story about how he needed three of his grades bumped up. He went to the professors' houses and knocked on their doors and was like, "Hey," like wanted to talk to him, like, "Hey, I want to graduate. I need to have these type of grades to graduate at this time. What can you do?" And it was a great story. You know, he,
Very
he,
inspiring. It sounds like.
it was very, like I said, it was very, um, peeling those layers of Mr. McMahon and getting to see Vince McMahon, the person, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, I might watch that motherfucker again. It was such a damn good episode. Like I said, I thought it was hard to top the Brock one. I think I think I like Vince's interview with Pat better than I did
Really,
Brock's.
I'm gonna have to go and watch that. Honestly, I really
Yeah.
am.
Um, one of the things he mentioned in there, they talked about, he talked about competition. He loves competition. He also loves physical competition.
Yeah.
He said he's still a little badass at heart. Loves to fight. Loves when somebody squares up to him because
Yeah.
he gets excited about that. This is what's fucking crazy. He talked about his sleep schedule. So for a lot of wrestling fans, looking like a lot of deep wrestling fans, you've always heard about Vince leaves the shows early, and you always think like, man, like why the fuck don't you stay? Like this is your baby, like this is your product. They always talk about,
Mhm.
Vince will leave 30 minutes to an hour early. Of course he does. This motherfucker wakes up at 1 a.m. or 1:30 to hit the gym and start training. No fucking lie. When he said that,
Phew.
my jaw hit the floor like, dude, what are you? He he hits the gym at 1 to 1:30 in the morning and starts training. He's 76
Fuck.
years old.
Fuck.
He's 76 years old, dude. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe that. I was like, dude, if I see a lot of things online. I'm a big guy, heavy set, and I'm always telling myself, yo, you need to get in the gym, need to get back in the gym, need to start doing this, need to start dieting. Like, and you see that stuff.
And this 77-year-old man's out here
Yeah.
fucking sending it, dude.
1 o'clock in the morning, runs a business. Like, it was nuts. Um,
So he
he
leaves the show early because of what? He goes to bed or something, or?
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, the shows don't end till 10 p.m. Central Time. So, I mean, if Vince is leaving at 9:30, if he's leaving, getting on the jet to go home or go to his hotel or whatever, wherever he goes, I don't know. I'm sure he probably has multiple homes or wherever he goes after the shows to sleep, get 3 to 4 hours of sleep, and then get up and do it all again.
Oh fuck.
And
Do you think he goes to the? Do you think he goes to the house shows?
I don't know about that. I know that he's involved in all the television shows. Highly, like still heavily involved with television
Yeah.
shows, which, I've been critical of. I'm not a big fan of his creative ideas, but, I mean, you still got to respect it. You still
Right.
got
No,
to
he's still
respect
fucking
it. Yeah.
hustling, bro. He's still
Yeah.
grinding.
I mean, and one of the other things he talked about was this. He said, which is really crazy for, like you and I were just talking about why we love AEW because of the professional wrestling and not the sports entertainment factor of it. Vince made it very clear, like, we don't have professional wrestlers. We have WWE superstars. And he's like,
Yeah.
would you rather be a professional wrestler or would you rather be a WWE superstar? Granted, take that how you want it. I whether I agree with it or I don't, whatever. But it was it was very interesting that he brought that up and mentioned it. Um, moving on in the interview, they asked Pat brought up Undertaker being inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is crazy because, I mean, usually at the Hall of Fame they have 8 to 10 guys going in. I don't know if you put anybody else in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's going to be
I don't know.
It's going to be overshadowed by Taker. So, and Pat was kind of talking about that, and then that's when Vince made the announcement. He's like, I'm going to induct Taker into the Hall of Fame, which is awesome. If you watch a lot of those Undertaker documentaries, Taker is very, very open about his relationship with Vince and says, hey, like he's my guy. Like that's who,
it's like a father figure.
Yeah. Just like Brock said.
Yeah.
And I think Vince inducted Stone Cold, which I thought was really cool back when they did that. So to watch him do it again with Taker, I think will be very interesting. Both Stone Cold and Taker are humongous reasons why Vince is able to take a jet.
Yeah.
And leave 30 minutes from the show. Then in the middle of the show, Vince kind of like let the other crew members of Pat McAfee's shows ask questions. Before they started asking questions, Vince said, hey, I have a question for you, Pat. And he's like, how would you like to wrestle at WrestleMania? Now, the internet rumors prior to this were going crazy because supposedly there was rumors going around that Pat McAfee was going to wrestle Vince at WrestleMania. So everybody thought that was going to be a segue into them doing it. It wasn't. Vince was just like, yeah, we're gonna let you wrestle at WrestleMania. The only thing I didn't like about the way Vince said it was Vince made it seem like Pat hadn't wrestled before under WWE, which kind of like furthers the thing that Vince wants to completely erase NXT Black and Gold. Because for whatever reasons, we can all speculate, we can all say because NXT lost to AEW, but I just thought that was weird that he didn't mention, like he kind of acted like Pat had never wrestled before. And I was like, wait a second, he wrestled for you in NXT. Like, come on now. He wrestled Adam Cole. And,
Which was actually a really good storyline. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my God, it was phenomenal. Like Pat came in and killed it. Like everybody talks about Bad Bunny and Bad Bunny did great as a celebrity coming in.
Yeah.
And maybe Bad Bunny gets more publicity for that because Bad Bunny is a celebrity. He's not
Yeah,
a
like massive, like he's like Selena in
yeah,
like in the
you know,
Latina or Latino.
so he has no like athletic background,
Yeah.
whereas Pat did have an athletic background. But either way, both of them did great, and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Then on SmackDown, Austin Theory announced that he was going to be Pat McAfee's opponent. So, uh,
Sorry, I was shouting out the timeline. What's up, Vince? Nice to have you in here, buddy. Amy, Tara, Brandy, Manda, Karen, everybody's rocking with us still. Let's go.
so, yeah, it'll be Pat McAfee and Austin Theory at WrestleMania, and it's interesting, man. Like they're pushing Austin Theory really hard, so I'm a little excited for that match.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely intrigued with that, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't really watched the last two WrestleManias, but if they start doing some stuff like this, I'm gonna have to tune in. Sounds exciting. Sounds intriguing. Like
Yeah.
need to get caught up.
So, for those that don't know Jordan, um, obviously Jordan's got a lot of people here supporting him. So, in the people that know Jordan, this will kind of be an oxymoron to them. But for those that don't know, Jordan is a huge, huge Jeff Hardy fan. Um,
I think that's an understatement. I think we need like some fucking sirens and everything to go off when you say that. Some confetti.
Dude, I'll never forget, man. Ever since I very first met you, like that was your deal, dude. I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, man. Just to kind of share a little bit of something about us. One of my favorite memories of us, um, like it was just crazy because like you could just feel the raw emotion.
Yeah.
Was we watched WrestleMania
Yeah.
34 or
I knew you were
33?
going with this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
WrestleMania 33 together. And when the Hardy Boys came back as a surprise entrant into the tag team ladder match, nobody, I mean, I guess a lot of people thought it. I didn't. I thought New Day was going to announce themselves into it.
Yeah.
When New Day announced the Hardy Boys, bro, I could just, like I said, you just feel the raw emotion. You were just like
Yeah.
hyped. And
Bro, I still have, man, I remember that feeling like it was yesterday. Like as you're talking about, that's crazy. Sorry, just go ahead. I'm listening. That was just crazy.
oh, you're good, man. So Jordan has had the opportunity to meet Jeff Hardy twice, and both times something has came up. And one day we'll get there.
Hey, third
We'll
time's a charm, baby,
yeah
because I don't think I could go the rest of my life without this.
yeah
So
got to do it one time before he
one time
before he
for the one
retires.
time, man.
Yeah,
Hopefully I get to meet the guy when he's still wrestling. Like
yeah.
it's gonna
That's
be
what I was getting
different
ready to
when
say.
he's not
Before he
wrestling.
retires.
Yeah.
Um, but so Jeff Hardy was abruptly released from WWE.
Yeah.
Um, and there was a lot of speculation about why that happened and about his health when
Yeah.
he did. Whether he was on drugs or alcohol, whatever it may be. Um, but when Jeff left, he of course has a 90-day clause where he can't, a no compete clause where he's not allowed to go work for any competitors or anything like that. And there is a video going around, and I brought up Jordan meeting Jeff Hardy twice because the last time was in Kansas City, and there was a snowstorm, and we didn't get to make it because the roads were extremely dangerous. If you got to make,
Horrible.
if you're listening to this and you got to go, awesome. But I didn't have 4-wheel drive. Jordan drives a Volkswagen like a
Yeah.
small Volkswagen Golf. Like there was no
It's like
way
a
in the
little bug.
yeah, like well, there was no way like we were testing that out. We both were hoping that it would get rescheduled again. So, whatever. But I'm wondering if the gentleman who released this video went to the Kansas City one. I know Jeff was doing a lot of concerts
Meet
around
and
that
greets.
date, meet and greets.
Yeah.
But supposedly somebody released a video of them talking to Jeff, and Jeff saying, "Hey, yeah, I'm going to WWE or I'm going to AEW for sure."
Yeah.
So there is talk that WWE is suing All Elite Wrestling, AEW, because of tampering and violating Jeff's 90-day no compete clause.
Yeah.
Uh,
Which blows my mind. How and like I said, we talked about quite a bit of this topic off camera. So I'm gonna kind of summarize, a little bit what we said, so the viewers can listen. Shout out to whoever's in here now. But no, I mean, I think I understand if you are WWE and if he did sign a contract before, I guess that's legal issues. I get that. Fine, no big deal. But you can't sue a guy or fine a guy or whatever it is just because he said something in a video, right? Like
yeah.
we live in
Well,
we
they're
live in
well
an
they're
age
not
now
gonna.
where anybody manipulates anything,
Well,
Photoshop anything or
they're not gonna sue Jeff. They're gonna sue All Elite Wrestling. So they're gonna sue AEW, because
which
AEW supposedly messed up that 90-day,
clause.
that clause, that no compete clause. So you know it is what it
That's
is.
frustrating.
Yeah. Like I said, it's speculation. I mean, it's what people are saying. Like WWE is expected to. They haven't. Obviously nothing has been set in stone yet.
Yeah.
But so kind of something we talked about off camera. Johnny Knoxville, who has been hard promoting Jackass 4, I guess. Is it the fourth Jackass
Or
movie?
it might be the 10th one. I don't know. I lost count after four.
But Johnny Knoxville was promoting his movie. They let him join the Royal Rumble, um, which was a little criticized. They do celebrities every once in a while in the Royal Rumble. I didn't see too big of a problem with it. Um, and in the Royal Rumble, he started a program, so to speak, a feud with Sami Zayn. And Sami Zayn
Which
recently,
I do want to say something, not to cut you
yeah,
off, bro. Sami Zayn's character, like I hate it and I love it. I love that it's just in your face, like I hate you, blah blah blah. But at the same time, it's
the
like, okay,
conspiracy
come on,
theorist,
like yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of like, all right, come on, like let's get on with this. Like either do
yeah.
something different or come on, sorry, I just wanted to throw my little
I
2 cents in there.
No, I agree with you. I think Sammy's doing a fantastic job with what he was given. But I you know I
Yeah,
don't think it's fortunate.
it's like right there.
Yeah, I want Sammy to go back. I want Sammy to go back to doing what Sammy was doing.
Yeah,
This is it's kind of ran its course for me, but um, but no, Johnny Knoxville started a feud with Sami Zayn, and then Sammy won the Intercontinental title, and there
mm,
was a lot of backlash online, um, with people that were like, oh, because everybody could see that Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn were headed towards WrestleMania, and so
yeah,
when Sammy won the Intercontinental title, they were like, you're not gonna let Johnny Knoxville wrestle Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title
right.
at WrestleMania, right? Which wouldn't be far fetched. Like I said, they've done so. WWE brings in celebrities all the time. It's not anything new. It's not whatever. But it was, like I said, it was received with a lot of backlash. Um, it is no longer for the IC title because Ricochet won the Intercontinental title last night on SmackDown, which was cool.
Praise God. Shout out to Ricochet. Praise
Yeah.
God.
No. Hey, here's what's crazy. And I've seen this. I've seen this on social media a lot. There's a lot of praise because, Finn won the U.S. title on Raw, and then Ricochet won the Intercontinental title on SmackDown.
About time, honestly. Round of
Yeah,
applause. Praise God.
it is, man. It is. I
It's a
I
long
try.
time coming.
I'm
God, bro.
trying. I try to stay positive about it because my philosophy is that Finn should be fighting for a main event title, not
Yeah.
not. But you know what? Well, I've always been a huge thing of like, listen, if you're gonna do big spots with the Intercontinental United States title, cool, I'm all for it. But
Yeah.
they've done this wave where they've been like, hey, it's a prestigious title, both are
Yep.
prestigious titles, and then they'll go a few months where they're like, no, it's not prestigious anymore. It's
Yeah.
on the pre-show or whatever.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about celebrities doing matches at WrestleMania?
So honestly, like, and I was thinking about that. That's kind of funny you asked me that. So I don't really have a problem with it. What I do have a problem with is if you're doing it strictly for ratings. Um, and like I said, kind of one of the things that I like about AEW is that they always keep it fresh. Obviously, you have some weeks where you're like, it could have been a little better. That's anything. That's any wrestling organization that we've seen over the years. But I think with celebrities, I get it, but not the biggest stage. I feel like if you do like a storyline on Monday Night Raw or with a big like a different pay per view, sure, not WrestleMania, man. Because if you think about like the early 2000s, WrestleManias, but were they not action packed? Just boom, 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 boom. Match after match after match after
Yeah.
match, just insane with like TLC matches, steel cage matches. Um, I don't know, man. I really haven't found WrestleMania to be super exciting the last 2 years. I pretty much stopped. I think I stopped watching WrestleMania when the pandemic hit, just because I couldn't really fathom the 2 night thing or the 2 day thing, I should say. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll
Well,
give WrestleMania a shot.
I will tell you that the last year that your opinion, like how you just described that, it's not uncommon, man, because a
Yeah,
lot of people a lot of people had a hard time getting into just had a hard time getting into it in general with no fans.
yeah,
You know, so be that as it may,
yeah.
now that they do have fans, they're fixing to have a full arena this year at WrestleMania instead of a half. I think they did half of an arena last year in Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Um,
which didn't make any sense to me.
well, it was still Florida's laws with COVID were still pretty, you know,
Hit
we're
or
still
miss.
yeah, we're still pretty strict. So they had to do the half, half full. Um, so this year with in Dallas, at Jerry World, they're
Whew.
planning for a full, which is crazy, dude. Because if they do the
That's a full
two thing,
house.
yeah, if
God
they do the
bless.
full thing, like I mentioned to you about looking at WrestleMania tickets, and I saw like top corner of the stadium, 70
Like you're
bucks.
about to fall off the roof.
Well, or no, you're not going to be able to breathe that hard because you're so high up,
Right.
high altitude up there. But
I'm on a
dude,
plane.
and you think 70 bucks, but I think that $70 ticket was for one night.
Right.
So, you know, and there's been a lot of talk about about how they're going to do that with the 2 nights and whatnot. But we
So
can
they're
we
going
can
2 nights again?
yeah, they're going 2 nights again. This time, like I said, they're doing full arenas. So, which is, I mean, if you,
Listen, I get it. I get it because it's like what, 8 hours long or something
yeah,
normally.
yeah,
I get it. I get it. That's a lot of showtime, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna criticize it too much, just because, you know, if it's something new again, then whatever. I just give us what we want. Damn it. You know what I mean? It's like just give us what we want. One night, insane, crazy, just the biggest pay per views, matches of the year. Give it to us. That's what we want.
yeah. So, kind of going back to the Johnny Knoxville and the celebrity thing, I'll tell you, man, I I don't have a huge problem with celebrities on WrestleMania. They bring in celebrities all the time to do, you know, guest announcing
Hmm.
or whatever, like the first WrestleMania. Muhammad Ali was, the special enforcer.
Uh-huh.
They had Cindy Lauper there. They had another person doing the timekeeping and whatnot. That's fine. As far as the wrestling goes, um, you know, I'm not a big fan of the celebrities coming in and wrestling. And like I said, Bad Bunny did a phenomenal job. Kudos to him. It
Yeah.
wasn't for me. It's not
Yeah.
appealing to me. However, I will backtrack just a little bit to talk about Vince McMahon, the Pat McAfee show, because I thought
Mhm.
I forgot to mention this. Pat asked Vince about, like what if he reads if he reads on like the internet wrestling community and what they and Vince told Pat no. He's like, I don't pay attention to online. He's like, what I
Really?
pay attention, yeah, he's like, what I pay attention to is ratings and sales. And he goes, and that's what I go
Mhm.
with, which is smart. It is. I mean,
Yeah.
because in our world, we're online and we're bashing this and this and that.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he listens to us and we're like, yo, we don't fucking like that. But if the ratings say something else,
Yeah.
obviously, he's doing what he's doing because
He's
he
a
knows what.
billionaire for a
Yeah,
reason.
exactly. He knows what he's doing. So I don't know, man. Like I said, as of right now, it's not Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville for the Intercontinental title. I have a weird, odd feeling that they're going to find some way to fuck over Ricochet. Sami Zayn's going to find a way to get that
Yep.
title back. I have I'm not sold on it being. I'm not sold on it being just straight up or being Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville without the Intercontinental title involved.
I
I
think, in my honest opinion, I think that Ricochet needs to go to AEW. I really do. And another person that you probably haven't heard of in probably a year and a half, Mr. Velveteen Dream. I think he needs to go to AEW too. And believe it or not, kind of backtracking just for a second or sidetracking for just a hair. Velveteen Dream had to have been one of the best characters I've seen in NXT, hands down, in my opinion.
so So there was, you know why Velveteen kind of fizzled out, right?
I don't actually.
He was accused of talking to an underage.
Oh yes, 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 yes,
So
yes,
and
yes.
he's denied it, and nothing ever came of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like and WWE tried to NXT at the time, like when Triple H was running NXT, he tried to take Ricochet off TV for a little bit till it boiled down, and then when he brought him
Hmm.
back. Not Ricochet. I'm sorry. He tried to take Velveteen Dream off TV until it fizzled out, and try to
Yeah.
bring him back on. And it just, I think that it left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And then when he was released, he made a big post on his social media. He was like, there was never any proof. Nothing was ever solid. I still claim my innocence.
Yeah.
He was like, I feel like this kind of ruined my career. And I love him. I think I loved his in ring work. I thought he was a fantastic worker. I wholeheartedly agree with you. He's an awesome he was an awesome performer. If
Phenomenal.
he's if he's legitimately innocent, then I think he should definitely still keep going. Um, Enzo Amore was one of those guys.
Yep.
Um, Enzo was
Hell of a
accused.
guy. Hell of a
Yeah,
guy.
Enzo was accused of sexually assaulting a woman, and she never went through with it. Now that doesn't mean that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
However, there was no proof. There was nothing to say that it was real, or he was never convicted. He was never blah blah. And he's continued with his career. He's wrestling a shit ton on the independent scene.
He
A
is.
shit ton.
And
Yeah,
killing it. He's
yeah.
killing it too.
So um, I'll tell you what, man, we are on the back end of this. Tomorrow is a huge pay per view for AEW. AEW
Massive.
Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is phenomenal, man. It is. This card is just absolutely amazing. I can't find one match on this card that I'm not looking forward to. So why don't we do this? Because like I said, we are on the back end of this. I don't want to be, I don't want to keep you up too late.
No,
So
you're
why don't I do
fine.
this? Why don't I say the match? You give me your prediction. I'll give my prediction.
Yep.
All right. Let me get this
Yep.
card. Get this card pulled up here.
It's been fun, by the way. Thank you for having me on. Everybody that's been showing some love, thank you. We got Leslie in here. We got Mark in here. Let's go. Got everybody tuning in.
All right. I am anxious to see if this pay-per-view goes 3 hours or or it goes 4 hours.
I'm just ready to see some people get put through tables.
All right, we're gonna get all the way down here to the. I hate it when I pull up a list and they start with the main event. I'm like, well, I want to save the main event for last, right?
Right.
All right. So, Death Triangle and Eric Redbeard, who is Eric Rowan from
Yep.
WWE, versus House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Murphy.
Ooh. I think Redbeard.
Death Triangle and Redbeard.
Yep. Yep.
I'm
Because
going. I'm going.
the way that they brought him in, in that promo, or not the promo, but that little segment where he came in, beat the hell out of everybody. I think it's going to go towards them.
I'm going with the House of Black, man.
Really?
Malachi Black, Aleister Black from WWE. Dude, it's just, dude,
He's killing it over there at AEW.
it's nuts. And he is absolutely killing it. So I'm sticking with them to stay afloat. I could see it going the other way, but I'm for now I'm picking House of Black.
Fair
Okay.
enough. Fair enough.
The
Good pick.
next match is Hook versus QT Marshall.
Hook.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't
Nah.
he's he's one of, if not the hottest thing in wrestling right
Yeah.
now. He comes out, his fucking entrance music is amazing. He comes out,
Like his
doesn't
papa.
say anything, and
Yep.
just
Just like his papa.
yeah. Dude, there's a thing on the internet where people, like Hulkamaniacs
Uh-huh.
and all that stuff. They call them hookers.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
Like
Like the big thing on like internet wrestling community is people are like, yo, I'm a
the
hooker.
hookers.
Like Hook is my dude. I'm a hooker. So
uh,
I love me some Hook, man. The next one we've got is Chris Statlander versus Layla Hirsch.
ooh, I don't know. Who are you thinking?
I'm going to Layla Hirsch.
I was
Uh,
thinking the same thing. I'll go
yeah,
Layla.
dude. She looks weird. No, I mean, no offense to her. I mean, I'm an odd guy too. I look like a ball, but I mean, like Layla, she's like
You said I look
four.
like a ball.
Yeah, she's like 4 foot. Layla's 4'8" or 4'9", and she's all fucking muscle, all muscle. But
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Layla.
um, Chris Statlander's, I've always seen her on the independent scene before she came to AEW. My
Isn't
jaw hit.
Layla like 4-0 or something? Or no, that's the
No,
other. That's the
yeah,
other chick. I'm
yeah,
tripping.
that's I can't think of her name. Serena
I,
Deeb or
yes. Any
um,
girl with the name Serena is a bad bitch. You know? Fuck.
but Chris had a promo against Layla where she told Layla, she was like, "No wonder your parents gave you up for adoption."
Oh fuck. Bro,
So
that
yeah,
that's the type of shit I like about AEW though, dude. They just fucking send it.
yeah.
They don't
Um,
care.
so we are on unison about Layla Hirsch. In
Yeah.
the next match they got listed is Jade Cargill versus Ty Conti for the TBS title.
Ty? Probably go Ty.
I I will say that they've done. Obviously Jade has ran through the women's roster, and
Yeah.
she's had a lot of squash matches. They're trying to do everything they can to make her look strong.
Yeah.
She's gotten a lot of criticism about her in ring work, and so much criticism, but instead of still instead of still pushing it, Tony, not Tony, but Brian Danielson decided to start training Jade Cargill. Because I mean, like I said, you look at Jade, and she's money. She's big,
Right.
she's athletic, you know, but
Yeah,
she's
you got to
green.
fucking train the girl.
Yeah, she's green. Like Brian Danielson was like, I'll train her, and he's working with her, and you can see it a little bit. It's going to take some time, obviously, but
Give her a year.
um,
Give her a good year. She'll come out.
yeah. One of the things I love though is they let Ty Conti have some spots here. It doesn't they tried not to make it look like Ty was going to get squashed.
Hmm?
But Jade is my pick. They're like I said, they're pushing her to the moon. I don't see her losing anytime soon. But I don't know, man. Like I said, they've done a good job of making Ty look like she could she can hang with
Belongs. Yeah.
yeah she
Yeah.
can hang
Hang
with
with the boys.
Jade. Yeah. Next match is Sting, Sammy Guevara, and Darby Allin versus Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy in a
I think it's gonna be
trios match.
Sting. I think it's gonna be Sting, but my thing is I love honestly, like I love how like Matt Hardy kind of incorporated himself in that, you know.
Oh
But
yeah,
I really think, and I'm a huge Orange Cassidy fan, dude. I want to say that he is seriously one of the most, if not the most, like entertaining guy to watch. Just because it's like he, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's kind of like he fucks with the wrestling world because he just comes in with like, oh, I'm just gonna put my hands in my pocket and beat everybody's ass. You know, it's like he's it's kind of like he's toying with him. You
you
know,
know,
with
and
and
and to kind of piggyback off that, it's funny because a lot of traditional or like hardcore wrestling fans are like, it's not
uh,
it's not cool. It's
yeah,
fun. Like it's not supposed to be funny. Like fuck out of here, man. Like it's
yeah,
entertaining. Like and
yeah,
he's a good wrestler. Like he's entertaining
yeah,
and a good wrestler.
legit,
Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
agree.
Kudos, to him. Kudos to him.
But um, so for this match, are you going Sting, Sammy, and Darby?
Yeah,
I am
and I
too,
will
man.
say, dude, Darby, that dude is legit. I feel like he is more like a fuck the Dudley boy,
Spike
the
Dudley.
little Spike
Spike
Dudley. I
Dudley.
feel like he's more like a Spike, but dude, I love the character. Like I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie, I love
absolutely.
his character. I love his character. And
Let
that's
let
one thing I
me.
will say real quick about AEW. Sorry, I just want to say
No,
this
you're good.
one thing.
You're good.
Is dude, the characters like with AEW, I feel that there's so much variety there. You know, it's like so much like untapped potential that we haven't seen in such a long time. You know, Darby, Orange Cassidy, you know, MJF. MJF is the best heel in the game right now, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Um.
Nobody's even close. Nobody's even close.
So
They
so
can
let
take
me.
Roman Reigns and
uh,
shove it.
let me tease you with this, man, because I've thought about this ever since Jeff left. How fucking awesome is it going to be to get Darby versus Jeff?
Oh, hands down. Hands down. And I want to, oh man. And okay, so who's the, I can't, this brain's getting fried. Who's the guy that always does the Swanton bomb too? Um, he just fought, fuck. They just fought a three-way match the other
Sammy,
night.
Sammy,
Oh, yeah, Sammy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's teaming
Um,
he's teaming with Sting and Darby.
yep.
So
So yeah, I think them dudes, they're gonna be legit.
yeah,
But I think Jeff, dude, I think that whole character, we might fuck around and see Willow. We
I
might
can
see
see it.
Willow. We're going to see Brother Nero, of course, duh.
Yeah,
And if you've seen what happened the other day, is Matt Hardy came out. I think it was might have been after hour or whatever it was, but he came out and was like, delete,
yeah,
delete.
yeah.
So they're setting it up. You know that
Well, he's kind of playing like his money Matt and his Hardy Foundation.
until
Um,
he comes.
so so I think Andrade, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy are going to find a way to win. Because
I
if you
think so.
saw if you saw in that three-way match, there was a lot of like tension between Darby and Sammy.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to come. I think we're going to see that in this match. And we could possibly get a like one of those unlikely alliances where like my enemy is my friend, Darby and Sammy, who are gonna feud for the TNT title. That's where I see that going. I see
No,
them
they'd
starting
be
to
dumb
program
not to.
soon. But Sammy and
Ouch.
Darby in an unlikely alliance versus Matt and Jeff.
Yeah.
So I
I think
I
I think Jeff's gonna come out um one of these times, like he's gonna come out while Matt's getting his ass whooped or something, and then Jeff's just gonna fucking show up. I don't know how they're gonna do Jeff, but I think, and I'm
I don't
not
know
being
how they are
biased.
either because, like I said, Matt is playing a pretty big heel. So unless
Yeah,
they bring Jeff in as like a heel, um, which could work. I mean, you
yeah.
know, uh,
My thing is, and I'm not being biased just because I'm the Hardys fan. Um, but I think besides CM Punk, I think Jeff is probably the biggest name to come over, in my opinion. Besides Keith Lee and CM Punk.
yeah,
Would you
I
agree?
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, definitely. Um, I I think that I think the only thing that reserves like Jeff being in that conversation is number one. Jeff is very vocal about it being like, hey, this is my last run. Like
Yeah,
I'm done. Like me and Matt are done after this. So it kind of like, it kind of lets everybody know, like, hey, like what are they going to do? Like, is it just going to be how long is this final run? Because we
yeah,
know they've emphasized a lot on them tag teaming. Like, yo, hey, I want to tag with Jeff, and Jeff's like, yo, I want to tag with my brother. So one final run. So are we looking at a tag team run and then they retire? So I think that's the only thing that's kind of hindered like uh Jeff being like that big. I think 3 years ago, I think if Jeff would have went somewhere, if Jeff
fuck,
got
they'd
a
have.
yeah, if Jeff would have been in the releases the first go around in like 2020, and Jeff could have came in, I think that would have. I don't think it would be a question. I think Jeff would be like top tier. I think
Yeah,
he would have been level with the CM Punk signing. But like I
yeah,
said, because it's been another couple years, and Jeff is kind of winding down, and he's very open about like, yo, hey, this is it for us. Like me and Matt are done. I think they kind of like
shot
I
him in the
don't know.
foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, not shot him in the foot, but like I said, are we? I guess it's just up for interpretation. Like, are you and Matt going to tag team and do a few months as a tag team and then be done?
yeah,
Are you gonna stick around and maybe do another singles run? Like,
yeah,
what are we looking at? So
yeah. Because so many more times he can jump off fucking ladders.
yeah, exactly.
He's 44 years old or 40 some years old.
So speaking of ladders, the face of the Revolution ladder match is next, and we've got Keith Lee, Wardlow,
Love Keith Lee.
Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Orange Cassidy, and Christian Cage in this
Yeah.
ladder match.
Orange Cassidy's fighting again?
He wasn't in the last match.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
when
Gotcha.
you
Gotcha.
when I let you go with that one when you brought up Orange Cassidy, I was like, I'm just gonna let him go. I wondered I
Yeah.
wondered if
Sorry.
you I
Sorry.
wondered if you thought he was in the match. I thought you were just like
I did.
bringing it
I
up
did
because like
first.
it
I
popped.
did for a split second. Yeah, for a split second. No, I think
You're good.
realistically, I think I'm gonna go with Keith Lee, man. I think Keith Lee's dominating. I feel like he's gonna take it over. Because I love Christian Cage, but I just feel like Christian just not with this match. Orange Cassidy is going to be a guy that gets thrown through ladders and off ladders. You know, he's going to be pretty much the high spot of the match. We know that,
Yeah.
but I think Keith Lee's going to take it over. There's no reason why he wouldn't. Why he shouldn't win it.
Yeah.
He's a
So,
big bodied son of a bitch.
and you think about the name of the match, Face of the Revolution, and how much Tony built up that signing.
Yeah,
Tony talked about this being his biggest signing so
yeah,
far.
yeah.
And
Which is crazy to me. How he doesn't think CM Punk, but
yeah. Well, Tony likes to hype things up. Granted, he should.
yeah,
But so I've got Keith Lee as well. But it is very interesting to note. I will say, I don't think Christian's going to win it.
no,
I could see a very small part of me can see Orange Cassidy winning it,
just a little bit.
just a little bit, and
But I
then
see what you're saying.
a little bit more. I could see Ricky Starks winning it.
Yeah,
I don't see Powerhouse Hobbs winning it. Wardlow, I'm looking at, I've been
might
looking
be
at
a sleeper.
picks. I've been looking at picks, and um, Wardlow is listed as the pick. Now, think about this. So on Dynamite, uh, they had that scuffle between Wardlow and Sean Spears. And then MJF came to Wardlow and was like, "Hey, big man, if you win the ladder match, this weekend, and you challenge for the TNT Championship and you win it, I'll let you keep it."
Hmm?
And then Wardlow was like, and then if MJF walked away, MJF was like, "Not like you're going to win anyways."
Right.
And then Wardlow was like, "Well, that's because I'm too busy helping you win all the time." And then MJF slapped him. And MJF was like, "Remember, you work for me. You
Right.
don't work. You're not a wrestler. You don't work for AEW. You work for me." So my thing is if Wardlow wins this, uh, do they play in somehow that AEW or Tony Khan gave him a contract because he's the
I think
face of the
so.
Revolution?
I think so. I think that's just going to be another angle for just to have another guy on the roster, and just another storyline, which honestly is going to be pretty badass if they do either way.
They've built
Uh,
this story with MJF and Wardlow for about a
quite
year,
some
and
time. Yeah, I was going to say quite some time.
we're waiting for it to blow up.
Yeah,
And
which would be no better time than do that tomorrow or
yeah,
whenever the pay per view is.
that's what I'm saying. So even if Wardlow loses, I could still see them doing something crazy like,
Yeah,
or not something crazy, but just something like,
changing
uh,
the game.
no, Wardlow doesn't help MJF beat CM Punk, and
Yeah,
then MJF goes to fire Wardlow on Dynamite, and then Wardlow's like, "You can't fire," or he's like, "You can fire me, but I've already signed a contract to be an AEW wrestler," and then beats the dog shit out of MJF.
right.
Dude, I
And yeah,
I think the crowd pop for that,
would be massive.
is it's going to be deafening.
Yeah.
When
Yep.
Wardlow finally puts his hands on MJF, the crowd volume is just gonna the DBs is gonna be outrageous.
And speaking of crowd volumes, dude, when you watch AEW, does it not make you feel good when the crowd goes crazy?
Oh, absolutely,
Bro, it's
absolutely.
like every night. It's almost like
Yeah,
every night. It's
yeah.
like, oh, that wrestling, yes. Okay.
so
So now I'm missing.
so we've got Keith Lee on the face of the Revolution ladder match, but with a little bit of an asterisk. Like I said, I can see some people, see some other people doing it. The next match is Jericho versus Eddie Kingston.
Jericho.
I'm going Eddie.
Really?
I think I think Jericho has done a very good job making
Eddie
Eddie
looked good. Trying to get
good,
him
and
over.
then playing into the fact that Eddie can't win the big one. I think Eddie's gonna. The only thing
Surprise.
I could say was I was very confused, or I was very it was very interesting to see Santino and Ortiz come up to Jericho after that match and give him a fist bump, kind of like be like, "Hey, everything's cool now."
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that plays into it a little bit. I don't think it should. I think that they
One
should
thing I
let
will
these
say
two.
though, Jericho got in some phenomenal shape.
He did. He did. Have you seen that picture on social
Yes.
media? Like what he
Got
looked
jacked,
like
dude.
a year and a half ago?
Big
Yeah.
old fucking ball. It's like
Yeah.
a bubble.
Yeah. But so I've got Kingston winning this one, but I'm super excited for that match. So the next match is the three-way for the tag team titles: Jurassic Express, the Young Bucks, and then Red Dragon, which is Kyle Orton, and Bobby Fish.
I'm gonna go
For
Young
AEW.
Bucks.
I This is what I think. I think that they're going. I think Jurassic Express is going to retain.
You really think so?
I do. I think.
I see. I'm actually a
I
big fan of that Jurassic team. They're pretty sick.
dude. I am a humongous fan of Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
His dad. I mean, I loved his dad, and him. The fact that the fact that he's a wrestler now, like that's just, and he's got so much upside. I love Jungle Boy, love
Yeah.
Jungle Boy. But I like I said, I think Jurassic Express pulls that out. I think you're going to see a lot of tension between a lot of tension and a lot of division between Red Dragon and the Young Bucks, and it's gonna play into later tonight or later in the event. Not tonight, but yeah. So the next match after that is Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa.
Baker.
I do too,
I'm gonna
man.
go Baker.
I do too. A lot of people, Britt Baker has been on the hottest, dude. She's the hottest. She's the hottest women's
Yep.
wrestler in all of wrestling.
Yep. Yep.
She has had a phenomenal year. She is. I mean, dude, she's on top of the world.
Yeah. No, she's
Um,
killing it.
yeah. However, there's been a lot of people that are like, "Hey, like I think Thunder Rosa needs to dethrone her." I don't think that happens. The
I don't
last
think it needs
time
to happen yet.
when Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker had their like no holds barred match last year, and
Uh-huh.
dude, their unsanctioned match, and they both were spilling buckets of blood.
Yeah.
It was a chaotic.
I think that Britt Baker is having the same run as Becky Lynch did when she became the man, like when
Agreed.
she first started,
Yeah,
because the
agreed.
wrestling world was like, "What the fuck?"
She was over. Yeah,
You know
she
what I
was
mean?
just over. And
Immediately.
so that's what started Britt's run. But Britt didn't win that match. She lost to Thunder Rosa in that no holds barred match. So I think this time I think Britt gets her. Um, and like I said, that's my pick. I'm sticking with Britt.
I like Britt, dude. I really love her character. I love
Yeah.
her. She's awesome.
So this God, dude, this card is so fucking
Dude, it's
loaded.
stacked, bro.
Yeah.
Like from literally from top to bottom. Stacked. It's gonna
Moxley
be
and
probably
Bryan Danielson.
oh fuck. Huge one. This is a toss up. I mean, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Both massive stars, phenomenal wrestlers in the ring. Man, I think Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. I'm realistically going to go with that. But why would they be pushing him that much if he wasn't going to win that? Is what I'm saying. He's
I
giving Moxley that match. He's giving Moxley that opportunity to wrestle him. I feel like it's in Bryan Danielson's. It's so weird to say that Bryan Danielson,
I
Daniel
know.
Bryanson. So
Yeah.
weird. Daniel
I
Bryan.
had a hard time at first. I've gotten used to it though.
I'm gonna go Daniel. I know we just talked about this, but I'm gonna go Daniel Bryan. I really do.
So I'm gonna go Moxley, but it's a toss up. I mean,
Yeah,
and to be honest
yeah.
with
It's
you,
literally 50-50.
yeah, I think the only reason I'm going Moxley is because you went Bryan Danielson.
Yeah,
But remember Bryan wanted to tag team with Moxley, and then
yeah,
Moxley was like, "Yo, I don't team with anybody until I bleed with them."
yeah.
So my question is, um, just real quick, do you think they still form a tag team after this match?
I think so. I think not after immediately after this match. Probably 3 weeks to a month down the road. I guarantee they will. Because yeah, dude, they're gonna beat the fuck out of each other. You know they're gonna beat the shit out of each other. Then they're at the end of the match, they're gonna fist bump or kind of not even that. They're probably gonna look at each other, shake their head, and then it's gonna end that. And then give it that little leeway of oh, what's the potential there? And then about 3 weeks, watch Daniel Bryan is gonna get beat up or something. Then Moxie's gonna come out. You know how it is. You
Yeah.
know how it is with wrestling.
So the next match is Punk versus MJF.
Is this the main event? This is the main. No, it's not the main event, is it?
I'm even it.
God, massive card. Listen, we want to say MJ. So this is like the statistic with wrestling. I feel like the person that beats the shit out of the person in the last promo before the match always loses. You know what I mean? It's like the bad guy
Usually,
whoops the shit out of
usually you could say that, but
yeah,
with um, I think for the most part, wrestling has kind of picked up on we we as the fans have figured that out. Like we're kind of privy to it now. So
yeah,
then I feel like as of lately, wrestling, both WWE and AEW don't do it anymore.
yeah,
Um,
because it's so easy to figure it out.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how it used to be. Was the guy that got over on the go home show usually was the
Yeah,
one that lost,
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
But
yeah. So I think realistically, 50-50. So this is another 50-50, and I'm gonna explain why just in quick 30 seconds each one. I think if MJF wins, I think it'll kind of be like they blew the load early. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I feel like if he wins already, then that's the feud between them is kind of like okay, it's over. Not over, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like okay, cool. I feel like if CM Punk wins, which I think CM Punk might win, they could carry on the story a lot longer and more because that storyline's phenomenal. I'm not gonna lie,
it
I
is.
like it. Very fucking entertaining, especially the blood that happened in the last promo. Phenomenal. Um, I just don't think I don't think MJF is, and this sounds crazy. Hear me out when I say this. He's over, but I don't think he's there yet, like to the top yet.
Yeah,
I know he's probably this far away. I mean, that's probably a millimeter, but I don't think they're gonna let MJF win yet until he's just taking over the wrestling game. Which very, very soon he will be. So I'm gonna go with CM Punk is what I'm trying to say with this match. But
So
I won't be surprised if MJF wins if that makes sense.
no, it does. It makes perfect sense. I Speaking of blowing loads, I've had an erection ever since we got to this match. Um, this this man, I mean this feud. So and I do think we're going to end this feud because it has been going on.
Yeah.
And MJF brags because in he beat Punk for he beat Punk in Chicago.
Yep.
And uh I think that um in that match, well, this is what I was going to say. Since Punk has came back, he has done this thing where he loves doing callbacks, dude. And it's fucking crazy to watch all his callbacks. Bret Hart versus Diesel. He did some spots in a match with that. He's done some old spots. Him and Mox, they did some old spots that they did in WWE together. And um uh uh my foot. So Punk's this AEW run with Punk has just been absolutely amazing. Just
Amazing.
his
Yeah.
story,
It's been everything we've anticipated the last 15 years or whatever long it's been.
the storytelling, like his maturity and the storytelling that they've done is just absolutely nuts. Um, So speaking of the storytelling, and you may see this on social media, but Punk, ROH, Punk is one of the ROH darlings, and Punk did a promo back in 2000 and 2005 ish. I can't
Mhm.
remember exactly when it was, but he did the "you stupid people, you actually fell for it," and he was like, the
Yep.
greatest thing the devil ever did was convince the world he doesn't exist, and he was
Yep.
like, I am the devil, and MJF mimicked it word for word. Uh, that spot where MJF was talking to him and he made that comment about the
Yep.
devil, that was Punk from 2005. So it's just there's so many fucking layers to this thing, man. And it's just
It
I
has
mean,
to
it
be
is
the best storyline in wrestling right now, I feel.
hands down. It's been the best feud with that storytelling. It's been one of the best feuds in the past 5 years.
Yep,
Um,
easily, 100%. That's all I
don't
see on my
don't get
social
me
media.
wrong. Like Roman is killing it over in WWE, but Roman's not having like feuds like
Right.
this feud. Like,
Yeah.
Roman's squashing people. Like,
Yeah.
there's not huge feuds with Roman. There's
Mhm.
nothing. There's no back and forth. There's no storytelling with Roman or anything like that. So, um, it's just it's amazing. So I'm gonna go CM Punk,
Yep.
and I'm playing off of the whole yeah MJF beat Punk in Chicago. I think the reason why Punk wins this one is because, like I said, we're shutting the book on this feud.
Yep.
And there's something that's going to happen with Wardlow. Either Wardlow's not going to come out and help MJF, and MJF is going to call Wardlow out for it on Dynamite, or Wardlow is going to come out and Wardlow's going to cost MJF the match on purpose.
And it's gonna be their feud now.
Yeah, because it's like I said, this MJF Wardlow thing has been building for over a year. It's time
Yeah.
to pay it off. So, and I think this is how they pay it off. They pay it off with Punk, and uh, God, dude, I could see Punk feuding with Bryan Danielson after this, which would be fucking. I mean,
Insane. Yeah.
yeah. I'm
As a
God.
wrestling fan, it's everything you've ever
I'm still erect thinking about it. So, um,
wanted.
but I'm going CM Punk, and the final match, uh, Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. Battle of the Atoms.
That's a hard one, dude.
It is.
But I'm gonna go Adam Cole, baby.
So, so I I'm not ready to see Adam Page hang. I'm not ready to see Adam Page's title reign end. Um, and I've thought about this, and I think the best way for this to go is I think we're going to get a banger of a match between Adam Cole and Adam Page, and there's going to come a spot in the match. If you go back to Page and Kenny Omega for the title,
Mhm.
the Bucks came out and the Bucks acted like they were going to interfere for Kenny, but then they gave Adam Page the nod, like go
Yep.
ahead. They gave him the go ahead. I think in this match you're going to see Red Dragon, you're going to see Bobby Fish and Kyle Orton get involved, and I think the Bucks are going to stop them.
Really?
Yep. I think the Bucks are gonna come out and stop Red Dragon from costing Adam Page the match for Adam Cole, because they've just been hinting at it. Like Cole's trying to take over as like the leader of the elite in Kenny's
Right.
absence. Well, then the Bucks weren't happy that that Cole brought in Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
What when do you think Kenny's coming back?
I think I I think it might be a little bit longer, but and that's going to be very interesting because you're going to see, you know, what happens when Kenny comes back. Does Kenny come back as a good guy? Does Kenny come back as a bad
Or-
guy? Does
And
Kenny
try to
come
fight
back?
Adam Cole or
Well, yeah.
yeah.
Does Kenny come back and try to fight Adam Page, or does Kenny come back and is Kenny going to be cool with the Bucks when he comes back? Because you have to ask yourself, like, you know, the Kenny probably knows now that the Bucks gave Hangman the okay to beat him. So does
Yeah.
Kenny take offense to that? Does Kenny, what's going to happen when Kenny comes back? That's a great question, man. And I don't know.
You know,
They talked about that he
what
could be ready to come back as early as February, but then they talked about that he was going to take more time off because he was seriously fucking hurt when he had that match.
see, one thing I want to say though too is it's like what I was just thinking about AEW is all these guys are so young, dude. Like, I mean, they're not young, but like a lot of these guys are young, still got so many, probably a decade of wrestling left in them. Dude, God, I was just sitting there as you were talking about that. I was just thinking about all the possibilities, especially with like, Kenny with Adam Cole or Kenny with, Adam, both Adams. Like just the amount of matches that we're gonna see in this next decade, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's my prediction for the main event. I think I think Cole and Page are going to fucking tear the house down. And as it gets to the closing minutes of the match, I think Cole will call out Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly to help him win. And as they come
uh-huh.
out to interfere, I think the Bucks will stop them, and Page will retain. And then on Dynamite, we're going to see a huge division thing where between the Bucks and Adam Cole and whatnot. And dude, it's going to be crazy because I mean, like I said, we're either getting Hangman and the Bucks versus the Undisputed Era, or we're
Yep.
getting or we're getting Kenny and the Bucks versus the Undisputed Era. Either way,
Which either one fucking massive.
either way, I'm fucking here for it. I'm all here for it. So, um, God, dude. So we started those predictions at like an hour and 13 minutes, and now we're already almost at 2 hours.
2
So
hours in.
yeah,
Fuck it though. We've been having some
yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah, man. Like this is, and that's the best part about it, dude. Is when we get on here, and like last week, I think I just went like I don't even think I went an hour. I think I went like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I was literally like talking to myself. But um, but yeah, when Seth and I get in here, man, like that's what happens, man. We're like, okay, we're gonna stay at an hour, and we're even like, yo, we're gonna drop a couple of topics. I'm gonna take a couple of topics out so we can stay under an hour, and we still fucking go almost 2 hours. it was
Hey,
it was
but
funny, dude. He hit me up. One of the last episode Seth was on. Um, he was like, "Yo, can you do it in the middle of the day?" And I was like, "Yeah, but we got to keep it under an hour because my lunch break is only an hour. I work from home, so it doesn't matter."
yeah,
But
doesn't matter.
it was fucking like it was fucking 2.5 hours. I was like, gee.
Fuck.
I was like, gee. So, but dude, that like I said, man, that Revolution card looks phenomenal. It's super stacked. I
Probably one of the
cannot
best
wait
cards we're
for
gonna
it.
see in a long time.
Yeah. You know, the last AEW's last pay per view was fantastic. I expect this one to be just as good, if not better. So
Yeah. Mm, I'm excited for it, buddy.
I
I'm
am too,
excited.
man. That is all I got for you tonight, man.
Yeah, no, it's been fun, man. Definitely been having a blast, and
Good,
definitely can't wait to be
good.
on. Let me know when you
Well,
want me to be on, man. I'm excited
well,
to shoot the shit.
absolutely, dude. I appreciate you coming on. I um, for my followers, and especially like people who will watch this that follow me on TikTok know that I am looking for a co-host that I
Yeah.
can I can do post shows with. Like after
Hmm.
Raw ends, like 10, 15 minutes after Raw ends, we jump on here, we talk about what happened on Raw, grade it,
Yeah,
blah
just kind of
blah
go from there. Yeah.
blah. If that's something you're interested in, man, hit me up. We can talk about it. If not, the co-host thing will continue. If you're down to do this again next week, I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
Um, we can do live again, and
Yeah. We'll get it
like I
going.
said,
We'll get it going.
I'm waiting for my co-host to come back. So but
He took a couple week hiatus. It's all
yeah,
right though.
just a few weeks. But
Then fuck
uh,
you, Jay.
but yeah, man.
No, well, I'll get back on here, man. No, I definitely had, honestly, I really did have a blast. I know I'm like over here blanking 9,000 times, but no, I really did. I'm having a blast, man, and just grateful to just see. Honestly, it was just exciting seeing all the wonderful faces that I haven't talked to for a long time. Hopped in here, said what's up. I know Jacob commented in here, Brittany, bunch of people, man. I actually got off it because my phone was about to die, but no, thank you guys to for everybody showing up. Your guys' fans are my fans. It's kind of weird to say fans, whatever, followers.
Followers.
Just hopping in here and kind of, showing some love and just kind of listening to what we had to say. And thank you for allowing me to be on here and kind of chop it up with you for a couple hours, man. It was honestly it was an awesome opportunity, and let's do it again. So
Fuck yeah,
let's
man.
get it going.
I'm gonna edit this and clip it and get it uploaded to YouTube and all that good stuff. I think I need to upload the
Yeah,
audio from last week's
yeah,
episode to Spotify, so I'll get that one done and we'll
yeah,
we'll keep it going. But I
yeah,
again, much love, dude. I greatly appreciate you joining with me
yeah.
tonight.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. And
Absolutely.
like I said, everybody that's any one of my followers, man, go to this guy's page. Descriptions below. I know people are beeping into me right now as you speak. You probably don't know if you can hear that. People are Colleen messaged me or something. I don't know who that is, but everybody drop a like. Chase.
Colleen, is that Colleen Reagan?
Yes,
That's funny.
yes,
She's a huge supporter of the James House Chiefs talk. So
yeah.
yeah,
She's
man,
awesome. She's really awesome.
huge shout
So
out to Colleen, man.
yeah, huge shout out to her. Everybody else that's watching, drop a like. Like I said, right now as we speak, drop a like.
Like,
Subscribe. I don't
share.
know if there's subscribe. I don't. Yeah, like, share. I don't know if there's a subscribe button, but if there is, hit that shit. Support my brother, and just keep on watching the shows to go. So
Absolutely. Well, like I said, that's going to do it for tonight. This is episode 6 of Bad Booking. Remember, it's such good shit. So
yeah,
for CR
it's awesome, guys.
Media, for Dare
Yeah.
Prymz, good night,
You
guys.
need to come out with some merch though. That'd be.
I'm working on it. I'm working on
I don't
it.
know.
So.
Can't tell everybody too much though.
Have a good night, guys.
You guys, see ya.